everybody. Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is gracious enough to offer each and every one of our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just please go to audibletrial.com/PBT and browse an unmatched selection of Audible audio programs. Download a title, start listening. It's truly that easy. audibletrial.com/PBT. Hey everybody, welcome into PeanutButter&Triggered. I'm joined by my main man,
Jason, what's up?
And I'm Scott. And our the boy wonders.
I'm Jacob, and I'm a loser, and I felt like I wanted to sleep because it was past my bedtime.
Oh, that was actually we recorded him directly off the phone, and that's what he said.
Yeah, damn, Jacob. What happened to you?
He has to wake up at 4 a.m., and we're doing this at the really, really late time of 9:51 p.m., so he couldn't stay up that late.
Yeah, he had a glass of warm milk and he fell asleep.
It's true. We got a interesting episode for you. Just a little pingle-pangle, this and all that. Our PDW, we're going to talk a tiny bit of news. We're going to talk about Cyberpunk and the mess that it is. We're going to have. I want to talk a little bit about a year wrap-up. Jay has a Mentos commercial he would love to talk to everybody about, as well as a drug commercial he wants to talk to you about. We're going to talk a tiny bit about sports, and I'll update everyone on my Demon's Souls review. So, are you ready for this?
Yes.
Hey, what's your PDW?
This is actually going to be kind of a quick one because I wanted to expand a little bit more on it in a future part of this episode. But real quick, I'm watching a whole lot of TV. I'm not playing that many video games, but I have picked something up that's new. So I'll start with the TV first. So I've already talked about how I've been watching A Teacher, which is a TV show on FX that I've been watching on Hulu. That show has gotten infinitely better. At first, I mean, honestly, you could probably do without maybe the first 2.5 to 3 episodes, because even though they're 20 minutes long, 25-ish minutes long per episode, you're not really getting a whole lot of information for the first 3 episodes. Though it is important, you could probably do without some of it. The second half of the series is way better than the first half of the series, so I've upgraded my grade from a B- to a B.
What
the reason being,
again?
What's that?
What show did you say? I'm sorry, I missed the very beginning.
It's called A Teacher.
Okay.
Literally, just A Teacher. It's about this kid that's banging his teacher, and his teacher, kind of him and his teacher dealing with the fallout and the scrutiny of being in a relationship, and how they each deal with the fallout. It's definitely a taboo subject, but I think they've handled it pretty tastefully and pretty realistically, for the most part. And they do talk about they talk about every little aspect that somebody would actually want to know about when it comes to something like that. How the teacher-student dynamic is inappropriate when it comes to romantic relationships. It's really inappropriate to be dating a minor, even if they turn into an 18-year-old. How there are double standards with male teachers versus female teachers. It really does tackle everything. So I would recommend it if you're looking for something to watch. And yes, I know during the pandemic, I'm sure everybody's binging everything, and they're probably running out of some bangers out there. This isn't quite a banger, but it's like a lead up to a banger, I would say. It has potential. I don't think there's going to be a sequel, because I don't know how somebody could expand on this kid nailing his teacher, but it's one of those it's one of those seasons that was probably going to be wrapped up nicely as a series. The next TV show that I'm watching is quite a surprise, and this one, my friend Scotty, is a banger. This one is called Search Party. It stars Leah Shawkat. I think that's how you say her name. She plays maybe PBT in Arrested Development. It has a few other random people, and the first season has Ron Livingston from Office Space, who plays Peter.
Love him.
Really good comedy. It's about a girl and her hipster friends that try to solve a missing person mystery, and it's pretty dark. There's a lot of like crazy like rabbit holes that they each get caught in, and the last thing I would like to say about this TV show is I gave it an A-, and we have 3 seasons that you can binge on. It's on HBO Max. It started out on a TBS network, which I never thought I'd say I enjoy something from TBS. But then again, I never thought I'd enjoy something that's on USA, and my next show is just that. But before I move on to my next show, go watch Search Party. Season 4 premieres on HBO Max January 14th. You all will love it if you like mysteries and dark comedies. There's tons of twists and turns throughout this entire thing. Things that you would never see coming. Next one here is Mr. Robot. I'm going to give this one a grade right off the bat. So far, I've only seen maybe like 5 episodes. It did start on USA. I believe the show is over. I'll double check that though. But I gave it a B+. I really judged a book by its cover. It didn't seem that good. It's actually a nice little watch too. I think the reason why I judge a book by its cover is because I don't think I've ever seen anything on USA Network that was actually worth watching. I used to make fun of my friend Kevin for watching Suits and Burn Notice because I have seen a few of those episodes and those shows are totally whack. But for anybody that's into like kind of like a thriller of sorts, this one deals with really actually kind of I'm not going to say it's like super accurate because I'm not a hacker, but from the information that I've read, the hacking in the TV show is pretty realistic. So give that a go. And then lastly, for my playing, I am playing Elder Scrolls Online, and it's a C+. Not that great, but it gives me something to do.
A lot of content.
Yeah, tons of content. Not that like Skyrim wasn't enough content.
Yeah.
It's just Elder Scrolls Online is just another flavor of the Elder Scrolls, which I think people will enjoy. The combat is way different. The leveling and the perks or skill trees are completely different. So that's something I'm still trying to get used to. I really don't understand how to exploit that system yet the way I did with Skyrim. It was really easy in Skyrim, and this one's a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, they're much more balanced because it's an MMO. So it's hard. You can't just like level two-handed and kill everything two-handed.
Yeah, see, that's what I've been that's what I've been trying to do is like level up my two-handed skill and my archery skill, and I just get crushed, dude. I can't take on any of the dark anchors by myself yet, but I'm trying. And I get lucky whenever like me and like one other person do it because I get half of the experience. Pretty nice. But that's it for my playing, doing, watching. I'm not really doing anything.
My playing, doing, watching. Actually, been watching Lovecraft Country.
Ooh.
Yeah. Which one thing I didn't know, and I don't know if you knew this, Jay, but apparently Lovecraft was like a racist and liked Hitler. Yeah. And so this whole show is basically spitting in his face. Yeah, which my wife told me, and I was like, okay, because basically the whole show centers around, all the main characters are black, and then also one of the main characters is actually gay, and like that, obviously he wouldn't have liked that, and I think that's like actually really cool that they're using like Lovecraft's ideas, but also kind of saying "fuck you" to Lovecraft.
Yeah. The other funny thing about this whole TV show too is that like amongst all of like the Lovecraftian like fiction, there is a lot of realism to it too because they sprinkle in like historical facts into the entire storytelling. So they even sprinkle in like American classic like novel elements. So it would be really cool if you paid really close attention to those things too, because they add a lot of historical value.
Cool. We're like 5 episodes in, I think, so we're still kind of chugging through it.
Which one is that episode?
What?
Which episode?
We just finished the Vietnam episode, like the flashback episode where the Vietnam box lady is like stealing men's souls.
That's a really good episode.
Yeah, it is. So we just finished that one. And then also I've been playing. I said a brain fart, but I've been playing Demon Souls, and actually I'm back on Red Dead. I'm playing some Red Dead. Yeah,
did they have an
man, that
update or
game's so
anything?
good. Well, they're always updating online, and I will say, if you want to play Red Dead right now, but you don't want to buy it, well, you don't want to spend much, you can go on to PlayStation Network right now, spend $5, and you get Red Dead Online, which has a lot of updates and stuff.
That's
I'm
really fun.
currently playing the single player, and then I'm going to get back onto the online, I think. And I will say right here, this is a good time. I actually have been playing my PlayStation 5 on my PS4.
What's
Actually,
that like?
it's a little bit of Inception, okay? Because I'm playing a PS4 game on my PS5 on my PS4. So it's Red Dead Redemption in my PS5. Like, I moved everything to the PS5, the hard drive, everything. And I mean, if I wanted, I could like transfer the save file like back and forth. But I installed my PlayStation 4 upstairs, so like when I'm going to sleep, I could just jump on, play some games right before I go to bed. But my PlayStation 5 is downstairs. But yeah, you just turn it on and you select the PlayStation 5 app, and boom, you're playing PlayStation 5 on your PS4. It's interesting. The PlayStation button, like when you click it, it actually opens another menu, and it will say, it basically asks, would you like to click the PS4 home button or the PS5 home button? Like it gives you the option to select either or, which is kind of cool.
Here's a question. When you're remote playing with your PS4, because I know you can't really do this with remote play right now with the PS4, can you play a PlayStation 5 game on your PlayStation 5 with a PS4 controller while remote playing on your PS4?
Yes.
You can. Okay, cool.
Yeah, because the PlayStation 4 controller, all the buttons are the same. It won't feel the same. You won't have like the haptics and all that other stuff. But you can still play it with your PS4 controller, and it will work the exact same. Like literally every button on the PS5 is the same as it is on the PS4.
Cool. So if somebody still has like their PlayStation 4, they don't like the DualSense feel or like look or whatever for any reason, they could just remote play with their PS4 and go back to the way it was, except play brand new content on a brand new console remote play wise.
Yeah, you could do that, but it's like a super roundabout way to do it, you know?
Yeah. Well,
I mean,
I have another question. So, if I wanted to, say, share a console with somebody just in a different, like, house or whatever, like if it was my brother, I could give him my PlayStation 4. He could remote play whenever he wanted to and just set up his own profile, and we could share a PlayStation 5, essentially.
That's a good question. I don't know how it works with pairing. I think, and I could be wrong, I think you would both have to share a profile base. I don't know if you'd have to share a profile. You'd have to share a PSN. Because I think, like, I have my PSN, how it connects is it connects to other consoles with the same PSN.
That makes sense.
You could play with it. I'm not 100% sure on that, but I think you'd have to have the same PSN. But you could still do it to where, like you could log in, have your brother log in or whatever with your PSN if you're comfortable with that, and then let him play like while you're out and about. Of course, the things you have to remember, you have to leave the PS5 in rest mode. You can't turn it off, otherwise it won't turn on. But that's like the same thing with that's how it always is.
Yeah.
But yeah, it works pretty well. I think generally that's Mandalorian. Finish the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, me too. We still haven't talked about that. Holy shit. So I have like 3 major questions that I haven't done enough research to even set out to answer. But what were your thoughts initially?
How about you hold on to them? Mandalorian's huge for a lot of people, and I have a lot of people tune out. People tell me they tune out, and it's still relatively fresh. I mean, it's from 3-4 days ago.
Yeah.
Next week, how about let's talk about Mandalorian and the Star Wars universe, and then gives everyone a warning that next week, like, be up to date on Mandalorian.
That's a good call.
But I'm giving that an A. Like, that's a solid A show.
Bro, that's an A+. Get real.
Yeah, I think you're right. That's an A+.
A+ for several reasons. The story is on point. There aren't very many holes, and if there are any holes, they're probably just holes because they haven't answered those questions yet. Number 2, the practical effects and special effects were tastefully done, with the exception of a certain somebody's deep fake. And
Yeah, I agree.
the last thing I'll say is that every single season is set up to be better than last season. And I know we've only had 2, but like season 2 is set up to be better than the first season.
Yeah, it's good. Watch it. We'll talk about it next week. Also, I know that this is a tiny piece of news, but a whole bunch of Star Wars shit was announced last week. We got Obi-Wan coming. We got Ahsoka show. We got, of course, well, now it's officially announced, the Book of Boba. Like, yeah, it's going to be good.
Katie sent me this entire article about all of like the Star Wars stuff that's coming out. Just crazy to think about.
I think Disney's killing it. It's a lot of really cool stuff.
It's weird to think about how there's going to be 10 different Star Wars series that are coming out in the next few years. That's a lot.
There's so much. Yeah, that's a lot. But PDW, I think that's it. Do you have anything else you want to talk about PDW?
No, nothing specifically for PDW, but you did touch on my aspirations for writing a Mentos commercial.
Yeah.
So this is something I'm actually kind of serious about, and I'm not even. It's almost not even a joke. But I remember when I was a kid, I would see those stupid Mentos commercials, and I'm sure everybody knows what Mentos are. It's the fresh maker. But there's always like a little like mini story within the commercial that's always like, oh, well, try to get a shortcut. They're basically life hacks that are only solved when somebody pops a Mentos into their mouth. So there's the guy that sits on a park bench that has wet paint on it. So he's like, well, I know, instead of being late for my job interview, getting my suit changed, I'm going to turn my suit into a pinstripe suit. And then he starts putting lines along his suit. Or lady gets boxed in by a couple of big ass cars, and she has this tiny subcompact, and she sees a couple of builders on a construction site nearby, and then they come and pick her car up and get her moved out of her parking spot only after she has a Mentos. That's the kind of shit that I wanted to write. And I remember wanting to write one of those when I was like 7 or 8.
That's
and
good stuff, actually.
Yeah, so I was taking a dump one time, and I was like just thinking about Mentos for some reason. I have no idea why taking a dump made me think about Mentos, but I came up with the perfect Mentos commercial. So I want you guys to close your eyes, and I want you to imagine a COVID-free world where there's a giant metropolis of hustle and bustle, and there is either a man or a woman. Imagine yourself being dressed to the nines, getting ready for a board meeting that you have with the directors in a giant high rise, and you're like, oh shit, I'm gonna be late, and you realize that you're rushing in to this building that's just filled with people, and you can't get into the elevator because the elevator is under it's not under construction, it's just out of order, and you can't take the stairs because you won't make it in time. Your meeting starts at 8 and it's 7:59. Holy shit, I can't make it in that time. So then you walk outside in despair, and then you're like, man, I need to clear my head. So you open a pack of Mentos, pop one into your mouth, and you look around real quick, and you see a window cleaner, and you tap them on the shoulder, and then the stupid Mentos music starts, and then they take you up on the scaffolding, and then they give you a grand entrance through the fucking window into this board meeting, and that's how you make your grand entrance, and you're giving everybody high fives, and then boom, it's Mentos, it's the fresh maker, and then you smile into the camera, and there's like a little ding.
That's ridiculous. I could see that actually being a commercial, though.
It's a good Mentos commercial. So that's it. That's my Mentos commercial. I almost wanted to play the Mentos music in the background. I should have. Fuck. But you guys remember the Mentos commercial, right?
Of course. With Mentos fresh and full of life.
That's Mentos. It. I gotta hear that Mentos commercial.
I mean, that's a good commercial.
You think that, like, if you saw that, say you saw that commercial, would you think anything? Would you be like, oh man, some idiot wrote that, or would you be like, oh, that's a normal Mentos commercial?
That's a normal Mentos commercial for sure.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't matter what comes.
I really should have played that while I was telling the story.
Yeah, you should have.
Fuck.
Hey, I guess rolling into a tiny piece of news, which you just played, which is just fucking baffling to me and really disappointing in our government. So the stimulus bill just passed. Have you heard the news about the stimulus bill and what else is the rider on it?
What? No.
So the COVID relief bill, this is straight from Kotaku. COVID relief bill includes a felony streaming act, which could allow Twitch streamers and anyone who streams any copyrighted material to receive a felony, including people on TikTok using music or a streamer playing a video game. So that fucking bill has that writing on it. It's going with it. It's just part of it.
That's insane. You also heard that the Trump administration has now just sent it back because they said that $600 is not enough. They want every American to have $2,000 in their pocket. Yeah,
and then they also said, well, I heard that, I don't know if it's true, someone told me that each member of Congress got like $100,000 as a bonus for like coming up with the stimulus.
Jesus. You heard it was like 600 pages, right? Literally a stack of paper.
Not 300, like 5,000, because AOC came out and said, quote, this is why Congress needs time to actually read the package before voting on it. Members of Congress have not read this bill. It's over 5,000 pages and it arrived today, and we're told that we expect to vote on it in 2 hours. This isn't governance, it's hostage taking. So basically you have like what I assume are some of the politicians who like really want to help the American people. And then you have the other politicians who are trying to put riders like this other bullshit on here. Like, why is this in here? Why would they put something like this in here? But they're trying to get it passed because, you know, there's so much pressure to pass like a relief bill.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so stupid.
They're just looking to exploit the system with that sort of thing.
Yeah, and they do that shit all the time. It's so old, dude. It's so frustrating that they just do whatever the fuck they want. But anyway, that's for another topic here. A little bit more news, and I'll let you start with your sports news.
Oh yeah, as of today of recording this on the 22nd, you all will hear this tomorrow on the second day. The NBA is officially back, dude. So for any of you out there that actually care about the NBA, this is a momentous day where not only did we end the last season later than normal, we're beginning this season later than normal, but it's such a small lapse of time of no NBA that it feels like it hasn't even gone anywhere, which is good for people that actually watch the NBA and enjoy watching it. But I have a sneaky feeling that there are going to be far more injuries this season. Even though they're playing fewer games, there's most likely going to be less rest in between games. However, there will be less travel, which is a good thing. I just have this weird feeling like your favorite NBA player is at a higher risk of being hurt. But tomorrow, I guess, meaning tomorrow for me, but today for everybody else, you all will get to enjoy the Portland Trail Blazers beat the Utah Jazz. So get ready for that.
Yeah.
Aside from that, that's all I wanted to say. I'm just really stoked. I just watched the Brooklyn Golden State game. Brooklyn they went God mode against the Golden State Warriors, and it just wasn't even fun to watch at a certain point. It was like, do you remember that Simpsons meme where Homer Simpson is Krusty the Clown and he's trying to get the Hamburglar version of the Krusty Burger version of the Hamburglar, and he's bashing his head against the asphalt, and some kid says, "Stop, stop! He's already dead."
Yeah,
that's exactly what happened with the Warriors. Like that team was destroyed by like the second quarter, but they kept going. But anyways, I don't know. I just enjoy the NBA a lot, and I'm glad that it's back.
And as your sport kicks into gear, my sport is kind of winding down. As many of you probably know, I'm an NFL fan. NFL last week of the season this weekend. We go into playoffs, so we have a few games in the Super Bowl, which will be interesting. Another reason I wanted to bring up NFL specifically is this year the NFL Pro Bowl has actually went virtual, believe it or not, which is crazy. The whole thing apparently will be played in Madden. There's no actual Pro Bowl. It's all played in Madden. Here's a direct quote from NFL's websites. EA Sports and the NFL will create a week-long series of matchups featuring celebrities, NFL legends, current players, and streamers playing as the official Pro Bowl rosters in Madden 21. These matchups will culminate in an action-packed virtual Pro Bowl game played with the 2021 Pro Bowl players facing off within Madden. These virtual games will be available for fans to watch across a variety of platforms, and additionally, for players of Madden 21, EA Sports will be dropping a new Pro Bowl content so that players worldwide can play the AFC and NFC matchup themselves. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, well, this also just goes to show that the Pro Bowl is meaningless.
So meaning, and it's, dude, the Pro Bowl is the most of all of the like all-star Pro Bowl games. The Pro Bowl is the most worthless.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say too.
So anybody from the Super Bowl teams automatically does not attend. So generally, those are some of the best players in the whole league won't be there because they're attending the Super Bowl. They don't want to risk anyone getting injured, so they all just basically opt out. And no one actually plays. Like they're all, they just play slow. They don't play hard. And like no one ever watches it. So I think actually, if this is popular, I feel like they should just do this from now on, or just have skills challenges because it's fun to watch who can throw the best or throw the furthest and who can kick the furthest and all that other shit.
I vote for skills challenges because at least in the NBA, I know that the All-Star game is still not meaningless, but what matters more to people, at least anymore, would be some of the skill challenges like the dunk contest, the literal NBA skills challenge, 3-point shootouts, rising stars, things of those nature. But it feels like even in the MLB, the home run derby is one of those events that people tune in for. Skills challenges are everything when it comes to any all-star format in any pro league, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Well, another thing that to make it stupid is a lot of the better players get snubbed. Like, for example, I'm biased because I'm a Packers fan, but still, you can look around. There's a lot of people talking about this. A guy named Evan Ingram, he plays for the Giants, and he has a more notable name. People know the name Evan Ingram. He made it to the Pro Bowl, and he had 1 touchdown this year. Alternatively, the Packers tight end, who currently leads all tight ends for most touchdown passes, had I think 10 or 11. So literally way more touchdown passes than anybody else. It's just no one knows him yet because he's kind of up and coming. Because it's all about name recognition. It's not about skill. It's people go through and vote, and there's so many positions to vote for. I think they'll go in and vote for their favorite quarterback, and then they just kind of click through and go, "Oh, he's good," and don't actually pay attention.
The fans vote for this?
The fans vote, yeah. So I think that they should have
any voting.
What? I'm sorry.
Do any official authorities have any hand in any of the votes? Because I know in the NBA, the fans vote for the starters, and then the coaches around the league will vote for reserves.
It's all fan. It's all fan.
Wow,
and whoever gets the
terrible.
most votes gets the starter.
That's really bad. That's a terrible format. No wonder it's such a joke.
Yeah, exactly. And so, like we see here, Robert Tonyan, who has 11 touchdowns on the year, gets snubbed for Evan Ingram, who has 1 touchdown. Come on, dude. It's just silly. But yeah, anyways, I'm kind of excited for that. Excited to see what it brings.
I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So, you being an NFL guy, I've only heard this from a few different people because I really don't keep up on the NFL. Apparently, this was a crazy season. Not necessarily because of the pandemic, but because of the teams that did well that people didn't expect to do well.
There were the Browns did better than expected. They're normally terrible, and this year they're pretty good. There's a couple other teams the Titans really one of the best teams in the league. They were good last year, but they weren't elite like they are this year, and they don't really have an elite quarterback, in my opinion. They just have an above average, but not an elite quarterback. And in the NFL, if you don't have an elite quarterback, dude, it's hard. You know,
You just get
it's really
exposed.
hard. Yeah, But the thing is, their running back is so good that he just smashes every single defense. So I mean, there have been a couple weird things, but I wouldn't say it's too terribly crazy. Other than the weird COVID issues and having people out, there was, I don't know if you heard about this, but the Denver Broncos a few years ago had a COVID issue, and literally every single one of their quarterbacks went out on IR, because they were all hanging out with no masks. So the NFL put them all on IR leave, and literally the Broncos had no quarterbacks on their whole roster.
So what do they do?
So
they just
they
have somebody else fill
elevated
in?
a practice squad wide receiver to play quarterback.
Wow.
He hadn't played quarterback since he was in college. And dude, playing NFL quarterback is, I mean, it takes a lot of work. I mean, literally the starting rep in the NFL, the starting quarterback gets every rep. Nobody else gets any reps. He gets 100% of the reps. And so
what
you have
ended up
a
happening?
guy. What's that? I'm sorry?
What ended up happening with that guy?
He went 2 for 13 with I think 2 interceptions, like two completions were short. I mean, it's not his fault, dude. He was put in an impossible situation. No one, I was watching a video of a guy who was he was a second string, third string practice squad quarterback his whole life, and he said he's like, dude, as a quarterback, I could not imagine being elevated to a starter from the practice squad. And he's like, this is a wide receiver who is elevated to starting quarterback.
That's harsh.
So yeah. So it's just that's a really weird thing, you know. But other than that, it hasn't been too terribly weird. I don't think anyway. And Tom Brady playing for not the Patriots, and the Patriots missing the playoffs. That's kind of interesting. It's like the first time in 18 years or something.
Patriots playing who?
Yeah, Patriots missed the playoffs. They didn't get into the playoffs at all.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, I mean, this is their first year without Tom Brady. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I got on that. I guess really super quick, I just want to touch on my Demon Souls review, and then we can talk about whatever you'd like to talk about, or go into Cyberpunk or whatever you want.
Sure.
Demon Souls. If you had to rate this Demon Souls on a straight remake, like if you had to say, okay, rate the remake quality, it's an A+. It's a perfect remake.
Better than Resident Evil 2 remake?
Well, Resident Evil 2, this is a direct remake. So, for example, I'll give you an example. There's one part on this bridge where there's a pile of bodies on the right side. What they did is they increased all the detail on the pile of the bodies, increased the shaders, increased the fire coming off this pile of bodies, all that stuff. But the shape of the pile of bodies is the exact same. So if the exact same movements you make on the PlayStation 3 version, you could make the exact same movements on the PlayStation 5 version, and it will be the exact same. Every little crease on the ground is updated and looks better, but is the exact same geometry. So the game is basically the same, but all updated.
Do you like literally replaying a game?
When it's been this long. I mean, it's been 10 years. And I'm a big, huge Demon Souls fan, or Dark Souls fan. And so a lot of people, I would say probably a majority of the people, never experienced Demon Souls because it was a PlayStation 3 exclusive. And a lot of the people, by the time they got onto Dark Souls, they didn't have it or didn't have a PS3.
Yeah.
So if you're experiencing it for the first time, amazing. Me coming back and touching on it and kind of remembering all these parts, it's a really good remake. I really enjoy it, and it's the best looking game that I have on PlayStation. I think it graphically is outstanding. But
that's interesting.
If you have a PS5, I think it's a requirement. It's the game on PS5
over Cyberpunk.
Well, I mean, let's talk about Cyberpunk. If we want to talk about Cyberpunk,
I mean, let's address the elephant in the room here. Cyberpunk fucked up, or CD Projekt Red fucked up with current gen releases, but with next gen releases, apparently everybody's loving it.
And Stadia, apparently. It's good on Stadia.
Oh, yeah. Dude, somebody even got it to work on a Nintendo Switch somehow. And apparently, it even looks better on a Nintendo Switch than it does on the PS4 and Xbox. If you can believe that.
You know, like, you kind of feel bad. Like, so part of me, CD Projekt Red has been really open, and I think they've done a good job based on the situation that's happening. Basically, for those of you who don't know, Cyberpunk was released, and all current gen consoles, so Xbox One or PS4, specifically the small versions, so not the pro versions of the game or the console, the smaller launch.
Yeah.
It's almost
the original
unplayable.
launch versions.
It's so glitchy and so broken that people basically paid $60 for a game that just is unplayable and looks terrible. Like, doesn't even look like a PS4 game. CD Projekt Red came out and said, "Hey, you know what? We're sorry. We're going to start issuing refunds." Of course, many people flocked to PlayStation and everywhere else to say, "Hey, look, we want a refund." PlayStation was kind of like knocked off balance by this. I don't know how Xbox took it, but I just read the story with PlayStation. PlayStation wasn't giving the refunds because that's not normally in their policy, just to give a refund. So what PlayStation did is turned around and said, "Okay, we're going to give refunds, but we're removing it from the PlayStation Store. So it's gone. You cannot buy it on PlayStation."
You know what's funny too is I feel like nobody really wins with this situation. CD Projekt Red basically got bullied into a release because they were getting death threats and they were just overall getting a hard time to give a timely release. And then once they finally do release it, yeah, it works great on the next gen consoles. The current gen consoles, it doesn't work as great. But then they still can't win because people are still taking to like social media and getting all pissed off and stuff, because when they do finally do something about it in partnership with like Microsoft Store and PlayStation Network, people are still getting mad. They got their refund, and there's even a bunch of posts and stuff that I've seen on like Reddit and stuff where somebody's like, "Yeah, I wanted a refund, but I still wanted to play the game." It's like, hey buddy, that's not how refunds work, you dipshit.
Yeah, I saw the same thing where someone was like, "This is so fucking ridiculous. CD Projekt Red's a piece of shit. I asked for a refund. They gave me money back promptly, but then I can't play the game anymore. What the fuck?" Like, dude.
Totally, dude. But it's crazy to like see all of this unfold, because like everybody was pressuring CD Projekt Red to release the game sooner rather than later, and they were super open about it, like, "Hey, we're not ready yet. We just want to make sure you guys have a really good experience with it. I promise when we do release it, you're gonna love it." And then all of this happens, and you can't say that CD Projekt Red didn't try to warn everybody, because they totally did everything within their power. It's just you can't really put time frames on these expectations, because then people get impatient, I guess. But it just doesn't seem like a winning situation for CD Projekt Red.
Yeah, and I think they have to be a little bit more honest just in general, because like, if obviously, dude, they played the PlayStation 4 version. I can't believe that they released it and thought, "Oh, it's great, it'll work fine." Like, come on, dude. It's literally a broken game. I think what they should have done, if they were smart, they should have said, "Hey, look, just so everyone knows, we're going to be 100% honest with you. The PlayStation 4 version does not work well. You can buy it or not release it at all. Just release it on PS5, which would have probably been a better idea. But you can buy it. Just expect a beta, basically, of the game. We're going to continue to work it out. And accept that, or don't buy it, and then maybe buy it when it actually comes out." But instead, they came and said, "Hey, it's going to be awesome. Get it now." They had a bunch of commercials with Keanu Reeves and shit. But like, I don't know, like, they obviously have not handled it well. We all know that. I still think it looks cool. I have it on my Christmas list. I have a PlayStation 5 though.
Yeah, and also just an update. I still don't have a PlayStation 5. I haven't been able to find one yet.
Are you trying to get one?
Yeah, but I'm not wanting to pay any scalper prices, and I don't want to like go into a store to buy it. I want to be able to, if at the very most, do an in-store pickup, because I'm really paranoid and I don't like leaving my house.
Not because of COVID, just in general.
No, there's COVID's still going on. Yeah, I remember that. But yeah, I don't like leaving my house for anything really.
Yeah, well, so we'll see. Cyberpunk, we will see.
Yeah.
I guess is there anything else you'd like to say about Cyberpunk or anything else we've talked about?
God, only that I wish I had a PlayStation 5 to play it. I keep telling myself, and it's probably better that I did hold out, but I keep telling myself I just gotta wait until I get a next-gen console to play it, because apparently it's supposed to be life-changing. And the number one question I always hear everybody asking, did you give yourself a dong, or did you give yourself a vag? Because the character that you create, you can customize those genitalia.
And size, too, on the dong.
Yeah, well, and pubic hair, basically, I've even heard it asked this way: did you give yourself an innie or an outie?
Oh wow, yeah, it's crazy. It's funny. My buddy, shout out Patrick. He was saying that his kids were going to play Cyberpunk, right? His younger kids, and I said, "Watch out!" You know, I warned him. I said, "Hey, it's like really sexual." And he said, "In the settings, you can turn sexuality off."
Yeah.
So I was like, "Oh, cool. That's a cool idea for the younger audience."
Now, I don't have experience with the game yet, but somebody did tell me that gender is dictated by the sound of the voice, which is kind of weird. So
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, they're probably gonna run some flack for that.
Well, I'm sure no matter what they did, they would get flack for it.
Sure.
I just figured for the last piece, and if you want to talk about anything else, I'm open. A year wrap up, just a quick year wrap up. We I think we might have one more episode, the 29th, but I figured this is a good time to talk a little bit about.
I almost want to wait for Jacob for a year wrap up.
I'm okay with that. Is there anything else you want to talk about then before we sign off?
Yeah, one thing that pissed me off that might piss everybody else off. Another commercial. Just one quick one. It's like a little 30-second spot. It's for a pharmaceutical company, basically trying to push their arthritis topical ointment. I believe it's over the counter. It's called Voltaren. I'm sure you've seen the commercial. It's fucking stupid. It has a cover of a really dope-ass Outkast song and some old people dancing at what looks to be maybe a wedding. But it really pissed me off, and I'm going to share my screen with Scott. I think, Scott, I already showed you this one, right?
Yeah.
Just not the 30-second one.
I thought, yeah, that's the
I think you saw like a 15-second one. So I showed this one to Patricia, who's a listener, shout out. She didn't think it was that bad. She actually liked it, and that triggered me. So I had to play it for everybody else. Everybody, go look up Let's Get Moving Voltaren Arthritis Pain Gel 30. That's exactly what we're watching, and get ready to be pissed off.
Before Voltaren Arthritis Pain Gel, my husband would have been on the sidelines. But not anymore.
I will hand it to this guy. He does dance really well.
An alternative to pills, Voltaren is the first full prescription strength non-steroidal anti-inflammatory gel to target pain directly at the source for powerful arthritis pain relief. Voltaren, the joy of movement.
Okay, so one reason I really dislike that commercial is because, one, that old man could already really dance well, but then they overdid it with the special effects. They made his hips gyrate a little too well, to be honest, and nobody's hips can move that well. It is not humanly possible. The other thing that I hate, and I think this is kind of a running theme with the commercials that really piss me off, is that there's a lot of dancing. Although this time it wasn't unnecessarily like gratuitous dancing or anything like that, but it was dancing nonetheless, and I hate dancing in commercials. And that kind of says a little bit about me, because I suck at dancing.
Just sorry to interrupt you, but what's impressive is the view count. 29,000 views on that Voltaren commercial.
Oh my god. They turned comments off.
Oh, damn. It says feel the music without says without joint pain, Voltaren Arthritis Pain Gel targets pain directly at the source to deliver a powerful arthritis pain release.
I believe them. I really do. And, if I ever start having some joint pain, I'm probably going to actively seek that out. Because even though that commercial really sucked for me, it did really drive that point home.
Which, speaking, that just reminded me, another show that we're always watching is Shark Tank. And we're like in the 8th season or something. And I watched, today there's an episode where one of the sharks told the guy that you're an asshole and to get the fuck out. That's what he said.
Wow. Oh, I think I saw a clip of that.
Yeah.
He was actively antagonizing each of the sharks and he came off as really cocky.
Oh, dude, totally. He basically was, he had this bracelet that every time you do like a habit that you dislike, you chew your fingernails, you shock yourself with this bracelet.
That's
it's like
what it was.
Yeah, that's it right there.
It is everything but a legitimate product, and for those reasons, I'm out.
He has a small face.
Let me tell you, let me come back to medical, because I really want to answer Lori's question.
All of these sharks are out. They're all out.
There is a medical component to this, but I'd
shock yourself for a minute. You're a combination of spontaneous combustion and ADD mixed together. I'm not kidding. It's very difficult to listen to you.
Yeah.
Luckily for you, I got my undergrad in psychology. To make money, I worked on a rhesus study that used the same technology to modify
How many other degrees, right?
And I'm telling you the truth here, so I'm interested, okay?
What? I gotta fast forward to where he says, you're an asshole, get out.
At 7.5%.
Was it right there?
I feel like...
Right here. Right there.
I would take an offer from anybody besides Mr. Wonderful.
That's what it was. That really pissed him off. That hurt his ego.
Manish, you're a get the out of here.
Oh!
That was killer.
Okay.
I think I saw a clip of that on 2020 or something like that. I've been
Yeah,
watching a lot of
I've
Dateline
watched
2020.
maybe I don't even know how many episodes, probably 100 episodes. And that's the only time I've ever seen them say something like that. I've seen him say, get out, you're disgusting, whatever, but never get the fuck out. Because he's the producer of the show. Mr.
I didn't
Wonderful.
know that.
Yeah. So
I don't like that guy either, though. Out of all the out of all the sharks in the Shark Tank, he's my least favorite.
Yeah, me too, but I would never ever go onto his show and say, you're the only one I won't work with. Especially when he was the only... He even says, right before that, he says, I really like the terms of the deal, but I refuse to work with you.
Yeah, that's pretty stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and
then when he's leaving, he says, part of me regrets not doing the deal.
Well, yeah, because that was the only deal he's going to get. That's stupid.
But that's all I got for the episode, unless you have anything else.
No, that's it for me too, man. And
all right, everyone.
Make Jacob rest in peace.
Yeah, you know what day it is? If you're hearing this, it's probably either the 22nd or the 23rd, and you know what that means? That means that the 25th is Christmas. I recommend that each and every one of you take a second out on Christmas to be quiet, enjoy, relax, take a step back from life, and try to enjoy whatever family you have. And if you don't have family around, try to just enjoy life. That's my piece of news, or not news, but my piece of advice, because 2020 fucking sucked. So let's get 2021 rocking good.
For everybody out there, enjoy your non-denominational holiday of choice. Happy birthday to a friend out there. His name is Load of Code. It's a disgusting nickname, but that's his nickname. Happy belated birthday to James. You know who you are. Scott, do you have any shout-outs?
Yeah, happy belated birthday yesterday to Katie, 21st. Happy birthday. And everyone, Raven, Patrick, Robbie, Jax, of course, my guy Jay Henney. Everyone, thank you for listening. We look forward to talking to you on the 29th. I think Jacob should be there. What?
I got some shout-outs, too.
Oh, I'm sorry. And then Jay's going to shout stuff out.
Yeah. Shout out to Patricia, shout out Adolf, shout out Delbert, shout out Panda, shout out to Jacob's mother, Ben's mom, and shout out to Puddle of Mud.
Puddle of Mud, have a great Christmas, and everyone out there in PBT world, have an amazing Christmas and have a good night.
Yeah, laters.
Bye.